our budget.
Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni denounced on Thursday the World Bank's decision to suspend new funding in response to a harsh anti-LGBTQ law. The World Bank said the law, which imposes a death penalty for certain same-sex acts, contradicted its values and that it would pause new funding until it could test measures to prevent discrimination in projects it finances. The anti-LGBTQ law, enacted in May, has drawn widespread denunciation from local and international rights organizations and Western governments, though it is popular domestically. Museveni said in a statement Uganda was trying to reduce its borrowing in any case and would not give in to pressure from foreign institutions. It is therefore unfortunate that the World Bank and other actors dare to want to coerce us into abandoning our faith, culture, principles and sovereignty using money. They really underestimate all Africans, he said. The World Bank has an existing portfolio of $5.2 billion in Uganda, although these projects will not be affected. Museveni also said that if Uganda needed to borrow, it could do so from other sources, and that oil production expected to start by 2025 would provide additional revenues. He added that he hoped the World Bank would reconsider its decision.
So I want us to go through this article, and then I will give you my own take on this whole situation. The headline reads, World Bank hurts new loans to Uganda over anti-LGBTQ law. So the World Bank is now saying that because of the draconian anti-LGBTQ law that was passed in Uganda, they won't be funding any projects in Uganda. This is a very, very serious thing. So let's continue. The World Bank has announced it will hurt new loans to Uganda over the country's controversial anti-LGBTQ law. The Washington, D.C.-based lender said on Tuesday it would pause project financing pending a review of measures it introduced to protect sexual and gender minorities from discrimination and exclusive in its projects. Uganda Anti-Homosexuality Act fundamentally contradicts the World Bank's group's value, the lender said in a statement. We believe our vision to eradicate poverty on a livable planet can only succeed if it includes everyone, irrespective of race, gender, or sexuality. This law undermines those efforts. Inclusion and non-discrimination sit at the heart of our work around the world. This is laughable. The World Bank having a heart after all what they've done to Africa. These people are so hypocritical. They are a bunch of hypocrites. Now they have heart after they've exploited Africa, after they've given us loan at a very high interest rate, and after they've made sure that we pay these loans until we are unable to breathe anymore. They now come to tell us that they have hearts and they are very sympathetic and they want to have a society where everyone is included. And they have developed a feeling for us, the Africans. And they care so much about us, so much so that they won't tolerate any form of discrimination from any country around the world. That is laughable. Let's continue. The lender will also increase third-party monitoring and grievances redress mechanism, allowing us to take corrective actions as necessary, it said. The World Bank Group said in May that the law was not consistent with the lender's values and that it was highly concerned about its adoption. World Bank President Ija, who took office in June, faced pressure to respond to the legalization, with 170 civic groups urging specific, concrete, and timely actions, including suspending future lending. Human rights organizations have widely condemned the anti-LGBTQ law, which imposes capital punishment for aggravated homosexuality, an offense that includes transmitting HIV through gay sex and a 20 years in prison for promoting homosexuality. In June, the US imposed travel restrictions on Ugandan officials in response to the legalization, which was signed by President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni. Museveni, who has referred to homosexuality as a psychological disorder, has rejected international criticism of the legalization, which he has defended as necessary to stop the LGBTQ community from trying to recruit people. In its statement on Tuesday, the World Bank said it remained committed to providing assistance to Uganda despite its pause on financing. The World Bank Group has a long-standing and productive relationship with Uganda, and we remain committed to helping all Ugandans, without exception, escape poverty, access vital service, and improve their lives, the lender said. Well, I think this is all just talk. These multinational corporations really do not care about the people. They just care about what they will get from the countries that they are dealing with. And it's such a shock to see that the World Bank is now having conscience to come out and said that they are looking out for less privileged people in society or people who are discriminated on in Uganda. This is such a shock. After all what they've done to Africa, they now have a conscience. So this is the point that strikes me in all this, right? You know, when you let someone know that without them you cannot survive, that without them you cannot do anything, they will start taking advantage of you. Had it been that the African Union or countries in Africa had their own institution that can lend money to them, had it been that the African Development Bank was strong enough or had enough reserves or had enough lending power that they could dish out loans to African countries, the World Bank will not be saying all this. I have said in a previous video that these international financial institutions like IMF and World Bank were not made to service Africa. That was not what they were made for. They were made to service the West. They were made to cater for America and Europe, not for Africa. And that is why most of their policies towards Africa is discouraging, is disadvantageous, and Africa is not benefiting from the multinational corporations. I have said it before that Africa must come up with their own institution that will cater for Africa's need. And all this shouting that African leaders are doing, all this whining and complaining, is not really helping anyone because they have been whining and complaining for many, many years now, but yet still nothing has been done. They must put their feet on the ground. They must start taking the necessary steps that will free them from the shackles of the West. Remember, I have said it before. Let me say one more time. He who fits you owns you. He who fits you controls you. He who fits you dictates everything about you. Until Africa will learn to stand on its own 2 feet, until Africa will learn to do things by itself, until our African leaders will come together and start doing things by themselves, start trading within themselves, start creating organizations that are meant to serve Africa and Africans. Until that day comes, we will be left to the good graces of international financial institutions like the World Bank, and they will dictate to us whatever they want. But you guys out there, what is your take on the World Bank getting itself involved in the domestic politics of a sovereign country? Is it the job of the World Bank to be dictating policies for member states? Share your thoughts and opinions with us in the comment section below because, like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, do not forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel because little bit of good way, like the one you're doing just now, help us a lot and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.